There's this idea that space is this like ultimate frontier for exploration, with distant planets and stars and galaxies to discover. But what if there was somewhere closer to home that was just as mysterious? What if it was in our own oceans? Our seas are home to some of the most incredible creatures on the planet. The weirdest fish, coral castles made by tiny animals, even glowing sea slugs that look like jewels. And yet we still know so little about them. With over 95% of the ocean unexplored, we're kind of in the same position as those early explorers who set sail to chart the unknown seas hundreds of years ago. So how are scientists tackling this massive challenge today? Hello, and welcome to my channel. The vastness of the ocean can be hard to wrap your mind around. Like it makes up more than 70% of our planet's surface and has an average depth of over 2-3 miles. To put that into perspective, if you took the Burj Khalifa, the tallest building on land, and you dropped it into the ocean, it would disappear almost 4,500 feet in. Even the deepest part of the Mariana Trench, the place often referred to as the bottom of the ocean, isn't as deep as the surface of Jupiter's moon Europa. So while we think of the ocean as being all around us, its sheer scale means that most of it is really far away. Take this remote sensing technology, for example. It involves things like satellites and airplanes and other methods for gathering data from above or the surface of the water. They're great for getting an overview of the ocean's big picture stuff, like measuring the temperature at the surface of the water or tracking currents across entire ocean basins. But they don't give us much insight into the ocean's depths. Kind of like you could fly a plane right over the pyramids and still miss the secret passageway hidden underneath one of them. Now let's say you want to explore something in a little more detail. You might use a tool called a remotely operated vehicle, or ROV. These vehicles usually consist of a machine tethered to a ship on the surface, kind of like a super advanced submarine. They can carry cameras and other equipment to observe things in greater detail. Now that's an improvement. It's like going from flying over the pyramid to actually digging a tunnel underneath it. But the tether holding the ROV to the ship restricts where it can go. It's tough to move it very far from the ship because you have to run the cord alongside it. And it also limits how long scientists can operate these vehicles for. So ROVs aren't ideal for exploring really remote parts of the ocean, which is kind of the point. This is where the submarine comes in, specifically the nuclear-powered submarine. And no, they're not a new invention. The first nuclear submarine was launched way back in 1955. But recently they've been making a splash in ocean research. That's because they can stay submerged for months at a time without needing to recharge. This means that they can travel far out into the ocean and explore places that have never been seen before. Plus, they can dive really deep. Some of them reach depths of over 10,000 feet, deeper than the Titanic rests. And at these depths, the pressure is over 1,000 times greater than at the surface. It's like being at the bottom of a 30-story building. So these submarines are built to withstand crushing pressures, extreme temperatures, and complete darkness. In fact, one of them, named the limiting factor, reached the deepest point in the ocean, the bottom of the Mariana Trench, a place known as Challenger Deep. At nearly 7 miles below the surface, it takes about 2 hours for sound to travel from the bottom of the trench to the surface. So if you were down there and you shouted, you wouldn't be able to hear your own echo for over 2 minutes. Now, because the limiting factor went so deep, it also had to use special equipment to send back live video footage, since normal cameras couldn't work under such high pressure. To do this, it used something called a camera rig, which basically houses several high-definition cameras and lights to illuminate the surroundings. All of this data is then sent back to the surface through fiber optic cables. Using tech like this, researchers on board can collect samples of seawater, sediment, and any interesting critters they find. And they can also film everything that's going on down there. For instance, during the expedition to the Mariana Trench, scientists discovered a new species of shrimp like crustacean. And they were able to collect images and data about it without disturbing it too much. The limiting factor also provided us with a close-up view of the infamous USS Johnston, a US Navy ship that sank in 1944 during World War II. The vessel was found sitting upright on the bottom of the ocean more than 20,000 feet below the surface. Before now, the only record we had of the ship was a grainy black and white photo taken shortly after it was sunk. And thanks to the limiting factor, we now have this colorful 3D view of it resting on the seabed. But it's not just about seeing things. There's a lot of listening going on down there too. See, in addition to sending back visual data, the limiting factor can also record sounds from the deep sea. This is useful because sound travels really well underwater. It moves faster than light and can travel much further without getting weaker. In fact, some low-frequency sounds can travel around the entire globe multiple times. So by recording the sounds down there, scientists can learn about things that might be happening over much greater distances. For instance, they can listen for earthquakes and volcanic eruptions, which create loud noises that can be picked up by sensitive microphones. This gives scientists an early warning system for tsunamis and other potential hazards. They can also listen for whales, which communicate using low-frequency sounds. By recording whale songs, scientists can learn more about their behavior, migration patterns, and population sizes. So you get the idea. These subs allow us to see and hear things that would otherwise be impossible to detect. But why is all this important? Why should we care about what's happening in the darkest, most remote parts of our oceans? Well, for starters, it's just plain cool. Discovering new species and gaining a better understanding of the natural world is a fundamental human endeavor. We're naturally curious about what lies beyond our own backyards, and the ocean depths are a natural frontier for exploration. But it's not just about satisfying our curiosity. Exploring the ocean depths can also help us solve real-world problems. For example, we know that the ocean plays a vital role in regulating the climate by absorbing carbon dioxide and heat from the atmosphere. But we don't know a lot about how these processes work. Understanding how the ocean works can help us predict how the climate will change in the future and take steps to mitigate the worst effects of global warming. The ocean also produces a significant amount of the oxygen we breathe. But again, we don't know a lot about the processes that drive oxygen production in the ocean. This knowledge could help us understand how well our planet can support life and how well it might be able to support a growing population in the future. Plus, the ocean is a major source of food for billions of people around the world. But overfishing and other human activities are putting a strain on marine resources. Understanding the ocean better could help us develop more sustainable ways of using these resources and protecting them for future generations. Then there's the stuff that hasn't been discovered yet, but could change our lives in big ways. For example, the ocean is a rich source of biodiversity, which means there's a lot of potential for discovering new species with unique properties. For example, a team of researchers recently discovered a new species of sea sponge that can produce a compound that's used in cancer treatment. Who knows what other discoveries await us in the ocean depths? And finally, exploring the ocean is just plain fun. There's something about the mystery of the deep sea that captures the imagination and inspires wonder. Who knows? Maybe you'll be the next person to make a groundbreaking discovery in the ocean depths. After all, anything is possible when you've got the right tools to explore the unknown. I hope you enjoyed learning about Unseen Earth. If you want to learn more about the amazing technology that humans have developed to explore our world, don't forget to subscribe for more videos. Thanks for watching.